Hi guys, my name is Henna. I am 17 years old and some of you may know me as the goddess of Egypt on TikTok. Recently I posted a video explaining all of the current events that are going on in the world, but I had to fit a lot of information into 60 seconds. A verified TikToker debunked me, and today I am here to talk about that. I put the video on private until I had a chance to explain this, but if you haven't yet seen the video, here it is. Okay, the American education system has really failed y'all, so I'm going to tell you some things you should know but probably don't. The Great Barrier Reef has been dead since 2016, and the fear of us all dying in 2050 due to global warming has been estimated to happen in as little as 12 years. There are currently over 5 million Muslims being held in concentration camps in China, being tortured, raped, and killed. Yemen is currently having the largest humanitarian crisis ever recorded in history, being in war since 2016, with over 3.3 million people dying of disease. Trump opened up protected Alaskan Arctic property to oil drillers. Nazis are having an uprising in Germany. Tibet is still not free. Children are being kidnapped and having their organs sold all over the black market, all over the world. The KKK never really ended and is currently increasing in size. Human trafficking is at its peak in the Middle East, and families are being torn apart and being put in cages all over the US borders. If you're not mad, you're not paying attention. It's not enough to just not be part of the problem, but use your privilege to be part of the solution too. You gotta pay attention. So I slipped up and I said that the Great Barrier Reef has officially been declared dead since 2016, when only half of it is actually declared dead. And because of that, a lot of people thought that the entire video was bullshit, or that I was lying for clout, or that I was just trying to gain attention. A bunch of really stupid assumptions. So I redid this video like 50 times trying to put in my source for every fact I said. But it took a lot of time. So instead, if you actually care about what's going on, I put all of the links to all of my sources in the description. However, when it comes to the Chinese concentration camps, my source was from an interview with an escaped refugee, and China monitors everything that goes in and out of their media. So unfortunately, the video was taken down, and I've tried, but I have not been able to find any information about the escaped refugee. So that just further proves how little we actually know about everything going on around us and how much the media is hiding from us. I'm not mad I got debunked. I wanted people to look into the information for themselves to actually understand that these are issues that I'm not just making up. I'm sorry that some of my statistics were off, but two different people can go on two different websites and find two different statistics. It doesn't change the fact that the issue is still happening. I apologize for my word choice because it made some of my information a little misleading. However, I do not apologize for the fact of me trying to spread awareness about issues that are going on, because if you just don't like to hear the bad shit that's going on in the world, you shouldn't be on the internet. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So with that being said, it's time for a story time with Henna. Last summer I went to Egypt, and there's a lot of poverty in Egypt. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most rich country. So there's a lot of homeless people. I was walking down the street with my mother and I see a little girl sleeping on the street. Obviously it broke my heart. So I take 200 pounds out of my bag and I put it in her hand while she's sleeping. And my mom was really proud of me for it. But then we get back to our house and she tells my cousins what I did. They instantly all just say I'm an idiot. How can I be an idiot for giving a homeless child 200 pounds? It doesn't make any sense, right? Well, that was the day that my cousins told me it is very, very common for little kids to be kidnapped and forced to live on the streets begging for money, because a pedestrian is more likely to give money to a child than to a full-grown adult. And I didn't want to believe that information because it just sounded so ugly. I didn't want to believe that the world was capable of doing it. So I fact-checked my cousin. I asked around. I asked all of my aunts and uncles. I asked my family friends. I asked my cousins. I even looked into it on the internet. And yeah, it's a real thing. There's big like gangs and mafias controlling the abduction of children in order for them to beg for money. And these people are already rich, like they have money. They just want children begging for more. Why am I telling you guys this story? So you're aware that I wasn't even aware of all of the fuck shit that's going on in my homeland country, where my entire family is living. Besides my parents and my brothers, my entire family's in Egypt. I go to Egypt every other summer, and yet I have never known about this. So I asked my cousin what I can do to fix it, and he said, nothing, you can't, you're a child. And that got me really pissed, I'm not gonna lie. The point of this story time is to prove that there can be so much going on in front of your own damn eyes that you will just never know about unless you care enough to ask. So I'm glad that people fact check me, because it got a lot more people to look into the issues I was talking about. And some of them realized that even though my statistics may be off, it's still a huge problem going on and that they need to be aware about it. When I started asking all of my cousins why they all knew about it and nobody ever told me about it, or nobody ever tried to fix it, they all said the same thing. I can't do anything. I'm just one person. What are we supposed to do about it? Egypt's run by a dictator. How can we fix it? There are powers in number. Last time Egypt revolted, they fucking threw the president out of office, bro. There are powers in numbers. You can do so much when people finally decide to unite and let their differences aside. But you guys can't do that. For some reason. You choose to hold on to stubbornness and anger and your huge ass ego to always be right all the time. You can't just come together and look at the facts, like look at what is right in front of you and just agree that shit isn't okay. A lot of people said that they can't trust me after my last video, and that honestly, like, shit hurted, like low key, I'm not gonna lie, but I was kind of relieved because I don't want to be held accountable for misinformation that's put onto the internet. That's why I took down my video when I realized that my statistics weren't all 100% accurate. Everything I said is a real issue going on in a real country, but some of my numbers were off, and because of that, I didn't want people to think that the entire video was 100% bullshit, because it's not, and you guys can check the links in my description and look them up for yourselves. You guys were literally just looking for a reason to argue, just looking for a reason to be right, because bitches love drama, bro. That's literally all it is. So I just don't understand, if you can have all of that energy to argue about something that you just really don't even care about, why don't you use some of that energy to make a positive impact on the planet? Like, I will never understand. Like, y'all will spend so much energy and time hating on Charli D'Amelio for absolutely no reason when she is such a beautiful, sweet, little girl. You guys spend so much time just hating on her for what? Like, for what? Like, why? If every single person that has ever left a hateful comment on Charli D'Amelio's post donates $10 to fix world hunger, they can probably change it. What I'm trying to say here is everybody spends so much time and energy on the wrong shit. And I'm not telling you what to do with your life, I'm not telling you what to do with your time, but like, arguing with me over my statistics when you had just found out all of the crazy shit that's going on in the world, like, does that seem like, what are you gaining from that? Like, what is the use to you? So go ahead and say whatever you'd like. You can say that I just made all of this to fish for attention. You can say that I'm unreliable, that I'm a liar, that I'm just fishing for attention. You can say whatever you want to say, but you cannot just sit there and deny everything else that is happening in another country because you don't like to hear the truth. And I've learned my mistake. Next time I post a video that big, I will be posting my sources with it. I apologize for that. I also apologize for anybody's anxiety that I actually did trigger. But if you just can't handle the truth of what's going on in the world, you shouldn't be on the internet, because you're gonna run into a lot of uglier things than my face. Well, that's debatable. For my birthday, I've decided I'm going to donate my last paycheck to the World Vision Disaster Relief Fund. The money goes straight to people struggling in Yemen. And honestly, a paycheck to me, yeah, it's a lot, but it's not gonna change my life. A paycheck to them, it's gonna save their lives. So as the holy month of Ramadan comes upon us, my mom and I are raising money to send to my grandma in Egypt. With that money, my grandma and her local mosque are going to be feeding the poor during Ramadan. So if you would like to donate to that, my Venmo is Hannah, H-A-N-A, Hassan, H-A-S-S-A-N 417. But if you wanted to donate to a more direct source, I highly recommend worldvision.org. Peace be upon you all.